Hello, it's Charlotte here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the difference between a page's title or a navigation title and what that means for Squarespace SEO. So if you have a website and if you have a website on Squarespace and you're looking at the page and the navigation title being like, what is it, let alone does it have any impact on SEO, then I am going to be answering that question for you today. So in this video, first of all, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, demo the difference between it, and then afterwards, the third part, we'll talk about the SEO implications. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in learning about, you want to know the answer to it, then you're in the right place and stick around. So I'm going to share my screen and you can take a look at what I mean, what I'm working on in real time. So if you want to pull up your own website, kind of in, I don't know, in another tab or something and follow along with me, then go ahead. So let's get right into it. Why waste any time? We have so much fun to do. So before we do, I wanted to mention quickly that I have here on my website a Squarespace SEO checklist, and this has been downloaded by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So trust you are in fantastic company with it. It's a one-page checklist. It literally makes sure that from start to finish, you have everything taken care of on the Squarespace SEO front. It's a checklist, right? Like it walks you through everything you need to know. So I'm going to leave a link to it down below. You can grab a copy of it and work your way through it. Whether you're a complete beginner or maybe you've done some stuff, but you want to make sure you haven't forgotten anything, then this Squarespace SEO checklist is going to be really helpful. And again, I'm going to leave the link to it in the description down below. And you can thank me. Thank me later once you've grabbed a copy of it. So, all right, now let's take a look at what I'm talking about when I say the page title versus the navigation title, okay? So here, I'm logged in on the back end of my Squarespace website. Ooh, lucky you, you get to see my Squarespace website in action this time, not just a demo site. Okay, and before we begin, I want to mention that my Squarespace website is on version 7.0 on the Raleigh template, but if yours is on a different template, or even if you're on version 7.1, it doesn't matter. It's the same principle, okay? So here we have, let's look at the front end of my website right now. We're going to take a look at this example on the Work with Charlotte page. So this page is always in my main navigation, Work with Charlotte. You scroll down and it's basically like an outline of my services, right? So that's what we're going to be playing with because I think that's a good example here. So you can see. So if I log into the back end of my website, you can see that that page here, it's an index page, right? You can see that it's like, an index page as opposed to a normal page. And we are going to start by clicking the gear icon. And that is going to open up the page settings. And you can see here under general, it's going to say page title or navigation title, okay? So in this case, I've put them the same just as Work with Charlotte, okay? But if we want to, we can play around and see what happens if we change it, to maybe say services, right? Let's play with that. So let's say that instead we want to keep the page title, instead of being Work with Charlotte, we want to change it to services, okay? If I save that now and I refresh, I want to show you what's going to happen, okay? So now look on the front end of my website. If I refresh it, now you can see that if I hover over the browser tab, do you see now it says services, right? So that's my new page title. It says services. That's what, again, Google is going to see that when they crawl and index it. But look here, there's a difference. It still says Work with Charlotte in the main navigation. And again, if we go back here, you can see the difference, right? I only changed the page title. I did not change the navigation title. So if I wanted as well, let's say on the front end of the website, if I wanted it to say services, both in the page title, so like what you can see on the browser tab or whatever, and here in the main navigation, then I'm going to come back here to the general tabs. And instead of saying services in the page title, I'm also going to put that in the main navigation title. And now look what happens if I save and then refresh the front end of my website. Now, once it resets, it's going to say services. Da, 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 there it is, okay? So again, to recap, the difference between the two is services. It's basically like, okay, the page title, again, it's what is the name of the page? What is the name of the page, both that a person is going to see, but also to, like we'll talk about in a minute, what SEO or like what the search engine is going to see when they see it and how like your site is displayed in search results, whatever, that's all the page title. But the navigation title is literally like, what is it in the navigation or the main menu or something. And so oftentimes they're going to be similar, but it doesn't always have to be. So it's completely up to you whether you keep them the same or make them a little bit different. It just might depend on the case and the context of what we're talking about here. So that's what they are. That's the difference between the two of them. And now I wanted to quickly give a couple words about the SEO implications of it, because sometimes people ask me, they're like, Charlotte, like, does it really matter? Is this super important for SEO? And the fact of the matter is that Google, when Google or any other search engine like Yahoo, Bing, like lol, but any other search engine, when they come to your website, remember that Google is going to be crawling and indexing the content on your website. And if you're new to this, you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to link a video up above that kind of goes over those basics in a bit more detail. So click that video and learn a bit more about crawling and indexing. But basically, remember that Google is going to be crawling and indexing your website, and they're going to be looking and being like, okay, what is the page title field? This is one of the very first things they see. So they're going to look and be like, what is on the page title field? And does that link up maybe with like the page title that you've built with like a header on your page, right? So for me right now, where it says work with Charlotte, that is a text box that uses the H1 header one. So in their case, they're going to be like, okay, services, a little bit different page title versus what I have is the text page title, but whatever kind of thing. And so Google, they're going to be crawling and indexing it. They're going to see what the page title is. They're going to see the navigation title. Again, they won't penalize you if they're different. It's just something that they're going to notice and look at. And they're also going to be comparing what you have in these fields with, again, the content that exists on the page itself, because these are all different factors that they're looking at. And in the grand scheme of things, remember that like SEO is good. SEO on your website is built with many different factors. So what you put here in the page title is not enough to like make or break anything. It's just one of the elements that is important in overall strong, healthy SEO. So that's why I bring it up here, because you want it to be really explanatory of like what the page is. Maybe it includes some of the keywords that you're talking about on your website, the type of keywords that you want that web page to show up for if someone's doing an online search. So these are all different things to consider when you're looking at both the page title and the navigation title on the pages of your Squarespace website. So yeah, take a look at them. I recommend that for your next steps, you go through the different pages that you have on your website and just take a look and make sure that they're set up properly, that you filled out these fields, and also that they are filled out correctly now that you know what they are, how they work, what Google's going to be looking for when they're taking a look at your website. So anyways, that is a quick answer to what is the difference between a page title and a navigation title, and what impact does it have on Squarespace SEO. So I hope you found that helpful. And don't forget that you can grab a copy of that Squarespace SEO checklist. I'm going to link to it down below again, so that you can grab it and thank me later once you have a copy of it. And that's it for this video. If you want to learn more about Squarespace SEO, take a look at the other videos that I have here on my channel or over on my website. I have lots and lots more guides, checklists, tutorials, resources, anything you want to know about Squarespace SEO, I've got you covered from that front. And if you like the video, you can always like it, leave me a comment or a question down below, and I'll do my best to help you out with it. But that's it for now, and I will see you again soon in the next video. So go ahead, take a look at your site, crush it on the Squarespace SEO front, and see you soon on the next video with Squarespace SEO. Bye.